PGA Tour upheaval. Tiger Woods drops a colossal revelation at the RBC Heritage. Supporters cannot process it. For many months, the golf community has questioned whether the sport's paramount athlete would ever again traverse the fairways. The quiet emanating from Jupiter has been profoundly heavy. The rehabilitation progress reports have remained indistinct, yet at Hilton Head, a venue Tiger has visited merely one time across his whole professional journey, everything suddenly shifted, and absolutely no one anticipated this. Over recent months, the golf sphere has posed a singular inquiry. Where is Tiger Woods? Not in a literal sense, of course. Everybody knows his physical location. He resides in Jupiter, Florida. He stays at his vast estate, the one containing a private training facility that mimics a scaled-down replica of Augusta National. He is encircled by physical therapists, medical professionals, and relatives. He is performing the necessary regimen. He is laboring through the recovery process that has come to characterize the concluding segment of his professional life. Yet metaphorically, nobody truly understands where Tiger Woods exists. The 2026 campaign commenced with optimism. Rory McIlroy captured the Masters for a successive year. Scottie Scheffler reminded all why he holds the global rankings top spot. The emerging talents, Cameron Young, Colin Morikawa, Matt Fitzpatrick, are executing the finest golf of their respective careers. The PGA Tour's marquee tournaments are supplying drama and dispute in balanced portions. And throughout all this, Tiger Woods has remained unseen. The most recent instance anyone observed him striking a tournament shot was the 2025 British Open Championship at Royal Portrush, where he struggled through 72 holes, failed to make the cut, appearing every bit his actual age plus more. Since then, occasional updates have emerged, brief, cautiously phrased bulletins that convey both everything and nothing concurrently. "I am making progress, which is pleasant," Tiger stated in a recent discussion regarding his rehabilitation. "I am reaching that point and becoming stronger. It just demands an enormous amount of time for the bone to consolidate." The bone. That represents the issue with Tiger Woods' physique in 2026. It is not one injury. It is not two. It constitutes a grouping of operations, breaks, and vertebral fusions that have transformed the most commanding athlete of his era into both a medical wonder and a medical puzzle. His right leg, the one that nearly required amputation after his 2021 automobile crash, has been kept intact by metal rods, screws, and pure determination. His spine, which has experienced more interventions than most individuals can enumerate, is a patchwork of fusions and implanted hardware. Nevertheless, the golf world remains patient, because Tiger Woods has repeatedly contradicted every forecast. He claimed the Masters in 2019 when everyone asserted he was finished. He survived the cut at Augusta in 2024 when everybody claimed he could not walk 72 holes. He keeps returning. He keeps demonstrating that others are mistaken, yet the stillness from Jupiter has felt distinct this occasion. Lengthier, bleaker, more ambiguous. PGA Tour published its roster of qualifiers for the 2026 signature competitions, and Tiger Woods' identity appeared in precisely 3 classifications: the Masters, the PGA Championship, and the Open Championship. Conspicuously, he was missing from the RBC Heritage list. Not that anyone expected him to compete at Hilton Head. He has only played that event once across his whole career, back in 1999 when he was still pursuing his first major. However, the omission from the signature tournaments felt like a signal, a quiet concession that the return, the authentic comeback, the one that would place him on a first tee alongside Rory, Scottie, and the others, might not be approaching. The golf community had come to accept that, or at least they had begun to, and then the RBC Heritage arrived. The RBC Heritage was operating at full intensity. Matt Fitzpatrick and Scottie Scheffler were battling down the final stretch. The Harbour Town Lighthouse stood sentinel over the 18th green just as it has for decades. The crowds were buzzing. The $3.6 million winner's payout was awaiting. And then the golf universe stopped scrolling. The news did not originate from the broadcast booth. It did not come from a press conference at Hilton Head. It arrived via statement, quiet, modest, the kind of announcement that ordinarily gets buried beneath tournament coverage and social media highlights. But this one was unlike others. Tiger Woods was communicating. The world had not heard from Tiger in weeks, not since the car crash on March 27 near his residence on Jupiter Island, Florida, the one where his Land Rover clipped the back of a truck and rolled onto its side. Not since the arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence. Not since he pled not guilty and declared he was stepping away from golf to pursue treatment and focus on my health. The silence had been overwhelming. Fans conjectured, media speculated. Everyone possessed a theory regarding Tiger's whereabouts, his activities, whether he would ever play golf again. And now, on a Thursday afternoon at the RBC Heritage, the response emerged. Tiger Woods was not at Harbour Town. He was not even inside the country. According to the statement, Woods had received approval from a Florida judge to depart the United States for comprehensive residential treatment. He was believed to be in Switzerland, inside an inpatient residential program scheduled to run for 90 days. The judge's order cited Woods's complex clinical presentation and the urgent need for a level of care that cannot safely or effectively be done within the United States as his privacy has been repeatedly compromised. The golf world was astonished, not because Tiger was seeking treatment that had been anticipated since his arrest, but because of what the statement additionally revealed. Tiger Woods had formally declined the Ryder Cup captaincy. The 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor in County Limerick, Ireland, would have to locate a different leader. The PGA of America's statement was gracious, even admiring. We commend Tiger for prioritizing his long-term health and deeply respect the courage it takes to make such a personal decision. But the underlying message was unambiguous. Tiger Woods, the man who had been the pulsating core of American golf for 3 decades, was withdrawing from everything. Not merely tournaments, not merely majors, but the captaincy that many believed was his rightful inheritance. The spectators at Harbour Town did not know how to react. Some felt brokenhearted, others experienced anger. A few were relieved that Tiger was finally prioritizing his health, even if it signaled the conclusion of an epic. Yet everyone was asking the identical question: what does this signify for the future of golf? To grasp the magnitude of what Tiger Woods just executed, one must comprehend what the Ryder Cup captaincy represented to him. For years it was regarded as inevitable, the natural progression of a career that had already achieved everything else. Tiger Woods would be the United States Ryder Cup captain, not if but when. The sole question was timing. The 2027 matches at Adair Manor in County Limerick, Ireland, were supposed to be his moment. The biennial clash between America and Europe, played on foreign ground with Tiger Woods leading the red, white, and blue into battle. The narrative authored itself, but golf does not adhere to scripts, and neither, as it turns out, does Tiger Woods. The PGA of America's announcement was brief yet devastating. Tiger Woods has shared with us that he will not be the 2027 United States Ryder Cup captain. The organization praised Woods for prioritizing his long-term health and stated it would announce a replacement in due course. Allow me to restate that Tiger Woods turned down the Ryder Cup captaincy. The same Tiger Woods who has bled red, white, and blue for 3 decades. The same Tiger Woods who once stated that representing his country in the Ryder Cup meant more to him than any major championship. The same Tiger Woods who, even in the twilight of his career, had been mentioned as the heir apparent to every American captain since 2018. He said no. The decision sent tremors through the golf world, not because it was unexpected given his arrest, given his treatment, given everything it made sense, but because of what it symbolized. A finality and admission that Tiger Woods, the man who had defined golf for an entire generation, was withdrawing from everything. Not just tournaments, not just majors, but the captaincy that many believed was his birthright. The fans at Harbour Town could not believe it. Social media exploded. The debates raged. Some said it was the correct decision, that Tiger needed to concentrate on his health, that the Ryder Cup could wait, that nothing mattered more than his well-being. Others were heartbroken. They had dreamed of seeing Tiger in the captain's chair, issuing orders, fist-pumping alongside his players, guiding America to victory on foreign soil. That dream was gone. But here is what made the announcement even more stunning. It was not solely the Ryder Cup. Tiger Woods was departing the country. According to court records, a Florida judge had approved his request to travel overseas for comprehensive inpatient treatment. The judge's order cited Woods's complex clinical presentation and the urgent need for a level of care that cannot safely or effectively be done within the United States as his privacy has been repeatedly compromised. Privacy, that was the keyword. Tiger Woods has spent his entire life in the public eye. Every injury, every comeback, every scandal, every triumph, all of it unfolded before millions of observers. And now, at 50 years old, he was asking for something he had rarely been granted: peace. The location? Switzerland. A discreet luxury rehabilitation clinic near Zurich, where Woods was reportedly undergoing a 90-day inpatient program focused on pain management and opioid dependency. Sources told the Daily Mail that Woods was responding well to treatment. With a pain management doctor helping him deal with his body pain without addictive opioids, he's got a pain management doctor who is helping him deal with his body pain without addictive opioids, a source told the British publication. He calls or Zooms a small number of people. Those people reportedly include his girlfriend Vanessa Trump, his children Sam and Charlie, and his longtime agent Mark Steinberg. The golf world was stunned. But as the news settled, a different emotion began to surface: respect. Tiger Woods, the most private man in sports, had exposed himself openly. He had admitted he required assistance. He had stepped back from everything, the tournaments, the captaincy, the spotlight, to rescue himself. And in doing so, he had performed something that demanded more courage than any putt he ever made. He had chosen to live. The question now was whether the golf world would permit him to do so. The RBC Heritage continued without Tiger Woods. The tournament that had become the setting for the biggest news in golf, a news story that had nothing to do with birdies, bogeys, or $3.6 million winners' checks played on. Justin Thomas, the defending champion, mounted his charge. Scottie Scheffler, the world #1, chased him down. The leaderboard filled with names like Fitzpatrick, Young, and Morikawa, but the conversations happening in the galleries, in the hospitality tents, on the social media feeds that never stopped scrolling, those conversations were about Tiger, about what his absence meant, about whether he would ever return, about whether the greatest of all time had just played his final round of competitive golf. The answer as of today is that nobody knows, not the fans, not the analysts. Not even Tiger himself, probably, because addiction recovery does not arrive with a schedule. The 90-day program in Switzerland is merely the commencement. The real work, the work of staying healthy, of managing the pain without the medications, of rebuilding a life that had crumbled under the weight of expectation, injury, and isolation, that work will continue long after he returns to Florida. The PGA of America has advanced. Keegan Bradley, who led the Americans to victory at Bethpage Black in 2025, is the frontrunner to captain the team again in Ireland. Justin Leonard has entered the discussion. The search for Tiger's replacement is already underway, but the golf world has not moved on, and it will not until Tiger Woods speaks again. Not until he walks onto a first tee, any first tee, and reminds everyone why they fell in love with the game in the first place. The irony is cruel. The RBC Heritage, the tournament Tiger has participated in merely once across his entire career, became the platform for the most significant announcement of his life. Not a return, not a victory, an admission, a surrender to something larger than golf, and yet, even in that surrender, there was something heroic. Because Tiger Woods, the man who built his legend on never quitting, on conquering impossible odds, on defying every prediction, that same man looked in the mirror and conceded he needed help. That demands more bravery than any putt he ever struck. The fans at Harbour Town could not believe it, not because they were shocked that Tiger was struggling, the signs had been visible for years, but because they were shocked that he had finally spoken it aloud, that he had ceased hiding. That he had selected himself over the game that made him. The golf world will wait, it possesses no alternative, because Tiger Woods, even at 50, even broken, even lost inside a Swiss rehabilitation clinic, remains the sun around which this sport orbits. The game proceeds without him. Rory wins Masters, Scottie chases history. The young guns take their shots, but it proceeds differently. It proceeds with less gravity, less weight, less of the electricity that only Tiger can generate. The announcement at the RBC Heritage transformed everything, not because Tiger said he was coming back, but because he said he was leaving. And occasionally, the most significant announcements are those that admit we cannot handle everything alone. The 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor will feature a different captain. The 2026 season will finish without Tiger Woods on any leaderboard. The future of the greatest career in golf history is written in pencil, not ink. Erasable, uncertain, waiting for a man to heal. And somewhere in Switzerland, in a private room with a view of the Alps, a 50-year-old legend is undertaking the hardest work of his life. Not chasing Jack's record, not grinding on the practice range, simply trying to improve, simply trying to survive. The golf world is stunned, but perhaps, just perhaps, it should be relieved, because Tiger Woods is finally attending to himself, and that, more than any major championship, is the greatest victory of his career. Tiger Woods turned down the Ryder Cup captaincy. He left the country for treatment. He chose his health over his legacy, and the golf world will never be the same. The RBC Heritage became the backdrop for an announcement that nobody anticipated, and a reminder that even legends are human. The greatest of all time is fighting the toughest battle of his existence, and this time it is not about winning, it is about enduring. Do you believe Tiger Woods will ever play competitive golf again? Or is this the conclusion of an era? Share your opinion in the comments below. And if you desire the authentic story behind every announcement, every controversy, and every legend in golf, press that subscribe button, because Tiger's narrative is far from finished.